Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is one more live stream on creative AI and coding. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nono Martínez Alonso. I run this live stream and also the Getting Simple podcast. And today we're going to take a look at Draw Fast, an experiment by Tldraw. I'm not affiliated to them in any way. They open source Tldraw and also this example that we're going, or this cool project that we're going to use today. I will remind you that usually these streams include troubleshooting and things that don't work the first try. So if you get bored for certain parts or you just want to jump to the really exciting parts, I would invite you to look at the timestamps. I try to create them during the live stream and add them right after. Sometimes it takes a few days or weeks to add them, but take a look because that might let you know what this stream is actually about in the end, and skip to the good parts. I will invite you to like this video if you're enjoying the content so far, and to subscribe and click on that bell to get notified when I go live next or when I upload new videos. I will also invite you, if you're live with us today, to leave a comment on the chat. Let us know where you're connecting from and why you're here. And also, if you're watching offline, also leave a comment on the video and yeah, let us know where you are. All right. I will also invite you to join the Discord community. You have an invite at Nono Martínez Discord or using that QR code. And I am not going to say anything about the past stream. I don't have anything here. All I can say is that we were looking at Stable Diffusion, and we're going to try to keep learning more things about this, doing hands-on studies. And actually last week what we took a look, I think, was basically gathering notes about what LoRa is for fine-tuning and like what different types of models there are, and some other concepts. I'm trying to build up a course on Stable Diffusion, so that's why we did that. All right, so what are we actually going to do today? I was mentioning before a really brief mention on the topic. What we're actually doing is look at Tldraw Draw Fast and learn how to use Fal AI. We're going to also mention briefly what replicate is, something that I also want to take a look at. So yeah, why don't we jump right in and get started with the experiment? I want to try to go straight to the focus point today and actually get as much done and covered as we can. This is actually one of the few live streams where there is a really clear agenda on what we want to do. That's just nature of like this experimental type of streams. And I'm setting here a timer so I know how long I've been going for. I can also see Rohan Gupta saying hi on the chat. Really nice to seeing you and having you with us today. All right, and for some internals of things that we're also doing, I have my teleprompter here, so I'm not sure how useful this is going to be for live coding. I know that for presentations and meetings is pretty good. All right, as promised, let's record a intro to this video and get coding and get started. I also have a few slides of introduction that I'm going to show you. So yeah, let's get right on it. Hi everyone, it's one sec, what's going on here? All right. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a hands-on look at Draw Fast, a sketch to image or drawing to image experiment conducted by Tldraw, which is a company that develops a React component that is open source and allows you to create a whiteboard with an infinite canvas where you can add shapes, manipulate them, text, and do a lot of really cool stuff. So that component is open source. We're gonna dive in a bit into it today. I'm more interested on like breaking down the parts that are gonna allow us to use this tool with stable diffusion or like image diffusion models over an API. So yeah, let's get started. My name is Nono Martínez Alonso, and I will invite you to subscribe and click on the bell if you want to get notified when I go live next or when I upload new video. Give me a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like this one. All right, so what is this experiment that we're talking about? Right here on screen, we can see Luke Wilson, one of the main developers of Tldraw, at least that's what I think from an external view. They've made this experiment, which is now closed, which is or shut down, which is basically to allow us to draw with Tldraw components and have an image that is output from Fal AI in real time fed into the same canvas, so we can manipulate our drawing and get an updated view of the output. The good thing is that even though this is shut down, there is a really good guide that we can actually use and follow through to test this experiment on our own. They also have a way to run it on Code Sandbox. Today I'm going to try to run it locally, but yeah, let's see where we get and what we can do. All right, what is Fal AI? It's an AI inference service that claims that it can generate images faster than you can type. Less than 120 milliseconds supposedly, and you can see some prompts being written live in there, and actually images being generated on the fly for those prompts. The example with Tldraw, as we saw in here, is not exactly changing the prompt live, even though we could, but changing the strokes for kind of like the control image that is going to actually be informing what gets generated, right? So that's Fal AI. I've seen that you actually have to sign in and sign up with your GitHub account. So I would recommend that you get a hold of your GitHub account if you want to follow this tutorial. And I would say I've never used this. I've never either used DrawFast yet or Fal AI. So beware for troubleshooting and bumps on the road. And yeah, so let's code. I mean, that's basically what I wanted to cover. Now we're going to get hands-on into actually following the tutorial and trying to get this working. All right. So as I said, I have here now not a slide, but the actual tab for DrawFast help guide. I'm going to go through this. So we're going to go through this together. And hopefully, I mean, let me see how long we have. So this is, okay, so we're 4 minutes into the tutorial. Let's try to see if in 30 to 60 minutes we can get something actually working. What is DrawFast? It's an experiment made by Tldraw, and it shows how you can use Tldraw with real-time image generation. The demo has not finished and we've taken it down, but you can still run it on your own machine and try it out. And they let us know how to run that locally or in Code Sandbox. So I'm just gonna go here and take a look at how to run it locally. We're not going to run in Sandbox unless we get a lot of time. And here's a video tutorial. I'm gonna silence this right now because I don't have a way to pipe immediately the audio. But basically what Luke is saying, or Lou is saying here, is that we can manipulate objects, get instant predictions from Fal AI in here. We can see, I mean, this is what we're kind of gonna do. We're gonna go to Fal AI, we're gonna sign up, we're gonna create some test keys. Hopefully they give us some free credit so we don't have to pay during this tutorial, but we might have to do that. And we're gonna add our environment variable for like the default key into their example. So this should be fairly fast. I mean, we just need to clone the repository, it seems, and go into Fal AI, register, get the right model selected, and do that. So if you're ready, let's get started and get to do this thing here. Clone the repo, get a Fal key, set up your environment variables. This hopefully or probably, yeah, this is probably not a valid key. And then you install and then draw fast. Draw something in the rectangle, double click, blah, 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 share. All right, record your screen and show us what you drew fast. Troubleshooting. All right, so seems fairly quick. So we're gonna try to do it really quickly here, step by step, but steady. All right, so first thing, let's first clone the repository. So we're gonna open the repo. I'm gonna put this on the chat in here. So Tldraw fast repo, and I'm going to put the URL. And we're going to just get that URL. We can see here we have the same documentation. So let's get our terminal here open and start coding. All right, we're gonna put our setup here. We're gonna open this with big type, and we're all set. All right, so what are we gonna write here? Let's go to our desktop, and I'm gonna put this here so you see it better. Git clone that, and I hit here, and then we get the repository here on the top right corner of my screen, right? I can enter into that and list it. We can also simply open the folder and see which files are inside. For me, I'm gonna actually open that directory inside of Visual Studio Code. Here we can browse the code better and we can edit it. So just before we go to Fal AI, I mean, what we need to do here is npm install and then npm run dev. That's what the guide is telling us to do here. Npm install, npm run dev, right? So we do npm run dev, we should get the application served locally. Let's see if everything loads, all the resources. All right, it seems like I already did some drawing here. I'm not sure if I could clean up this custom way, but let's see. All right, if I delete everything here, this interface resets to this, right? So the idea is that I would draw something here and we'll get some image generated in here. In here, we see the Fal proxy is actually erroring, and we actually don't have an API key. So that is probably why, because it's giving us an unauthorized key here. I'm wondering, before we try to understand everything in this example, what I'm going to do is refresh once more. We're going to go here and create an empty .env file. So just so you know, .env for environment file. And we just need to put here our for key, and my key will go in here. So we are going to make sure that's the syntax. Yeah, Fal key, blah, blah, blah. And that should actually work when we have this key. When I have that, when I get that key, I'll just hide it and put it there, because if everyone sees it, anyone is going to be able to make requests with my own credits or with my own account. And you don't want to do that, so keep your Fal key secret. And if you share your code, make sure that this .m is git ignored. That's something that is already done here, because that would compromise the security of your account. All right, so hopefully I don't have to regenerate during this session. All right, so now that we have this repository cloned on our desktop, I'm gonna go to Fal AI. So let's get to intro really quickly that again, in case somebody gets to this tutorial in the middle. So where are you, Fal AI? Here. Okay, so what is Fal AI? I already mentioned, but it's an AI inference service that arguably can generate images faster than you can type at less than 120 milliseconds. What you can see in this image is that by typing, the service was getting the updated prompt and was regenerating images really, really fast. In the case of our example, we don't really want to change the text that quickly. We want to change the drawing, the input drawing that affects the model output, right? And one note, what we're going to do now, I'm going to sign up. I've never signed up for Fal AI, so same as you if you haven't. We're going to use our GitHub account. So that means that if you have a GitHub account, you don't really have to create any other accounts because you're already set for that. All right, so let's now open, I'm going to open a new tab here, and I'm going to type in Fal.ai and hit enter. this is the website. So it's not the slide, it's the website that we are going to use. They have Stable Diffusion Excel and PhotoMaker, Stable Cascade. They have many models here. And I wonder where the model that we use is selected. So we'll look at that after we sign up. So I'm gonna click on sign up here. As I said before, I'm gonna have to click here on continue with GitHub. So I'm going to not hide myself, but hide that. So, to hide some of my personal user data, I'm going to click. There's nothing really here that talks about my account at all. So I can really show you that the only thing is that this asks us, do you want to authorize Fal AI authentication? It wants to access my account data, and it will be able to read your private email address. So that's all it's going to do. It's going to get some authentication of your GitHub account, know your email, and that will create an account on their service as well. So I'm going to hit authorize here, being redirected. And now let's see what happens. All right, so now we get this welcome page. We're glad to have you on board. And in case you're new to our platform, we recommend you to check the next steps where we walk through the basics of Fal. This will get you set up and ready to explore further. If you're already familiar with Fal, you may want to check the documentation or the available models. So first thing is create an API key secret. Second is call the endpoint and create your own function. And then they tell us what's next. All right. One thing is right now we just need to create this new key pair because the API endpoint call is already coded by the Tldraw team on the drawfast example. So we don't really need to go there. We're just going to go to create new pair. And this is creating key. All right. I'm happy that I was hiding this because my key is in here already. And you don't want to show that to outsiders, right? So I'm gonna click here again. I'm going to put my key on this M file, and I'm gonna close the M file so I can go back to sharing my screen, right? So I put that in .env, my API key. You can see here the model registry, so you can see all the models that they have available already. And see here, key ID, key secret. All right, one thing, let me say, yes, okay. So we are in the model registry. If you go here on to the panel on the left, you have keys. So if we press keys, you actually get a list of the keys that you have and this key secret, right? So this key secret seems that are only displayed when created, right? We can actually verify that is true here. That's because you don't want for somebody to get access, for example, to your GitHub account, be able to log into your page and then get your secrets. But, arguably they could create new secrets either way, but it's just a security measure so we don't make mistakes. We could add a separate key. So we could say what the scope of your key is, and we could name this key for something special. I'm gonna cancel here, and if your key gets compromised, you can always hit revoke key and delete it. Okay, we have integrations here, the official version integration, blah blah blah, and then we get usage, and then we get billing. Current balance. Your current balance might not reflect the latest usage. It can take up to 1 hour to update your balance. With a $10 credit, you can get approximately 5,000 SDXL images or 150 minutes of training time on an A100. All right, it seems that, Fal AI is giving us an initial $10 balance credit, and this is something that you will get as well, which is pretty cool. Because that way we don't have to cash in order to test this demo, right, and follow this tutorial. All right, so I'm gonna take a look at, so let's take a look at the pricing of Fal AI. You can see is for GPU, we get 1/10 of $1 per second, a bit slightly more. And share the models. I don't really know why it's telling us 5,000 SDXL, Stable Diffusion XL images. 5,000. Okay, yeah. So it's actually 5,000 SDXL images. That's actually interesting. So that's okay. I'm gonna put some details here. Fal AI initial billing, initial credit are $10, which covers approximately 5,000 SDXL images. Okay, that's good to know, and that's kind of like what we're gonna do. And to draw fast, we're gonna probably use a lot of that, but yeah, we'll see. So I'll stop talking now. So we have our account here. We have the Tldraw demo there. And what I said is that we were going to shut up and start using that, right? All right, so I'm not sure if there's anything. I'm gonna disable my ad blocker here. Okay. Great. All right. Great. So this is drawfast. We've cloned the repo, we've npm install, npm run dev, we've opened localhost 3000, and we've created our Fal AI account and Fal AI key that we've put on the .env file of the repo, right? You can see that in the previous steps of this tutorial. All right, so now that we're here, I would imagine that I can put here a sunflower, blue sky, and green fields in the background. Edward Hopper style. Okay, we're gonna put that there. It's too long to show there, but I'm going to zoom into here and actually put this in full mode, full screen. And let's see how big I can make this so you can see it. All right. And I'm gonna put my pen here. All right, let's see if I can make this work. Not really sure. All right, something's showing there. Not really sure if it's actually working. Oh, great. Not sure if I actually have to make these traces bigger. Right. It seems like it's a bit better now, right? I just change our prompt. Metallic building. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's put this now. So this works now, and if I hit this, Luke said that this will get in on top in what they've called lens mode. So that's it, and I can take it in or take it out, right? So here I could displace this thing, and actually live that thing is being regenerated and taking into account. So I could, for example, manipulate this here or manipulate this here. Nice. Windows. All right. So metallic balloon. All right. Humans. I gotta try humans. Ha. There you go. Okay. So let's actually remove this. I'm going to do a drawing first before, so let's actually do one thing. So that was a demo. It worked. It's pretty cool. Let's go back to, let's now take a look at how our Fal AI credits are doing. So it says LCMSD15 I2I active in the past 24 hours. So we get here, don't really know what these numbers mean here. And hi V, nice to see you, you're online. Okay, so if we go here to usage, number of requests 15. Billable time 38 seconds, fail 0. All right, billing $10. That's my balance, but I don't really know how much is this. How much is this? How much have we used? I don't really know. Pricing. Let's see if we can get some understanding on the pricing with this. A speed P90. P90. No idea. 38 seconds. Okay, 38 seconds. So the most expensive. $150 usage. Yeah, that of this one. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that would be this divided by this. No, not really. Yeah, there might be. Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, anyhow, let's keep trying. Let's see what model. Let's see what model we've used. So we can go here into usage, home. If we go to home, we actually can see a breakdown here of what we've used. So we've used LCM SD15, that might be Stable Diffusion 1.5, image to image, P90 6 seconds, P75 2.6, and P50 0.82. Okay, let's actually go and see what LCM SD121 is. Optimized latent consistency. Latent consistency. C logs. It's pretty cool. I mean, all these requests. Right. LCM SD. Let's try to look for this model on the. All right. Home. So this one says optimized latent consistency. Optimized latent consistency. Okay, so it's this one. Turbo optimized latent consistency. Okay, so we get an input image, strength, negative prompt, seed, blah blah. So there's a ton of parameters here. So they've probably like pre-populated the parameters for us in the Tldraw demo. And all right. run. Okay. I guess I can input a different image here, but yeah, let's just run with this. And ta-da! Okay, that's our output. Your request took 1.24 seconds and will cost 1/10 of a cent. Tomorrow is running inference on machine A100. See pricing for more detail. Okay, this seems pretty okay for the costs of what we can accrue here. So let's play a bit more with that, with the actual application that we have here. All right, so let's do more inference tests. Let's do here sun, flower, blue sky, green fields, Edward Hopper. It seems like what we need to do is to actually draw a bit more stuff here. All right, there you go. Okay, so let's actually make this closed rectangle. Oh wow, okay, that's pretty cool. All right, that's pretty neat. Not sure why the other plants don't show up though. More or less, I guess. Let's try to remove some stuff, some crap from here. Windows XP wallpaper. Windows XP wallpaper. Ah, kind of. Nice. Okay, so we have at least, if I put this here, maybe flip V, reorder, bring to front. So if I grouped this thing, for example, I can move it. All right, let's try to group things so I can move these objects a bit better. So if I move this now inwards, now I can take this thing and move it a bit up, move this a bit to the left, move this flower here, this one here, this one in here. All right, that's pretty cool. So now I can maybe change this for daisy flower. Roses. So here V says, I think it's strictly following brushstrokes instead of prompt. I mean, it's using a mix of both, right? So this is my input image is this, and my input prompt is at the top. So if I, for example, now, if I now do something like this, if I actually remove the Windows part and actually instead of daisy flowers, I put here rose flowers, then that's like roses, and I can put here like purple rose flowers, right? And it conditions something in those, but it doesn't probably do it perfectly. And I can make this one taller. So yeah, I mean, this is this is pretty cool, pretty crazy, um, that this works this well with GPU. I'm not sure about how many resources, like how much resources this is using. Um, Greenfield, let's see, animals. Let's put animals. Maybe those show up. Animal. All right. Let's see. Instead of rose flowers, let's put here dandelions. All right. Rain. Pretty cool. Awesome. Yeah. Any other prompt? Let's put here like road, street lights, nighttime, neon. So now this is gonna transition into a night scene, is it? Or not really? Maybe not. It seems like the color of the shapes also conditions this thing a lot. So if we change these things to like darker colors, maybe that changes the scene. Maybe not. Right. I guess. Oh wow. Okay. Hmm. Watercolor. Okay, so I would love to kind of pause here for a bit and tell you that it would be really cool if some of you actually run this locally and send to the Discord community some of the images and videos that you're doing, and also maybe post and tag the Tldraw team and send them some of these things to show what we've been doing here. I mean, this is, let's see, like daisy flowers, white and yellow. Nice. Pretty neat detail. Okay, so let's remove these things from here. Okay, nice. And yeah, so now that we've seen this, right, we've seen the application and we have some time. So maybe what we could do here is try to look at the code and try to understand a bit what is going on behind the scenes. I also would love to learn from, like, to hear from those of you who are live right now and those of you who watch later on the comment and on the live chat. What do you think? Is this something that you see yourself using? Is this something that you think is useful? So let's put here again rose flowers. And I guess I can change the colors to whatever I want. So I'm gonna make them red. Awesome. In blue, maybe. Nice. Fire. Where's the fire gonna show up? Let's take a look. Oh, you're not seeing anything. Sorry. All right, so I put here basically roses. And what I did is that I can change the color. So for example, I can say this one's yellow, and these things, I can basically change the color of the underlying shapes. And yeah, so let's make this one, for example, yellow as well. And this one green. Let's see what happens there. Okay. Yeah, so there you go. I'm going to now stop changing this. I'm going to go back to my usage tab and see now we have 69 requests, total duration 2 minutes and 16 seconds. And we go to home, we actually see some of the usage here, right? We see some of the cost estimate, 9 cents. Great, so we could use this 100 times more what we used it today with a free account, which is pretty impressive. All right. Great. So as I said, let's, now that we've seen this, let's break down a bit the code. Let's kind of dig a bit on what's being customized here. I guess like the gist of this, like what I want to take out is like, let's try to see a clean Tldraw application, right? So give me 1 second here. All right, let's continue after this break, and let's see where we were. 1 sec. All right. Okay, so let's take a look here at the code. So we have an application that has a page here, and it has on editor mount, and it has a Tldraw component with a live image provider. So this app ID is LCM SD15 I2I, and it has this live provider. So this is the application from DrawFast, right? But what I want to do before is to actually create an empty application that just contains Tldraw, right? Okay, so maybe let me go here now that we're live. So we're gonna make this one Tldraw, or maybe I should do Tldraw, right? Like the React component. An open source React infinite canvas. Open source React. Okay, great. So let's actually present this. Let's actually take this as a presentation. Okay, so I'm gonna present this now. So I'm gonna record this as a separate snippet, and yeah, let's get started. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a hands-on overview on how you can use the Tldraw open source React component to add an infinite canvas for diagramming, drawing, on anything you want to do to your application. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to create here. So let's actually create a Vite application. So we're going to do here, go into my desktop, and I'm going to do yarn create vit, and I'm going to use a template that is called React SWCTS, and I'm going to call this application my Tldraw, or maybe a Tldraw app, right? This is actually going to create the application, which I can access already. And I can do here yarn to install all the application's dependencies. And then I'm going to be able to simply do yarn dev and run this Vite React application. That means we're going to have an empty app. It doesn't have Tldraw yet, but we're going to be able to run it on my local machine and interact with it. So I'll make sure I don't have other applications open that might interact or collide with the port that this app is using. So I'm going to go to yarn dev. I can open this application, and I have Vite React here, right? This is an empty app. It's React and Vite, and I can edit the app TSX model to change things here. So I could do that really easily in here. So I could go here, put this to the side, really small, but this proves my point here that I can put this here and put here live with Nono, right? And this updates live, it does hot reloading, so it even keeps the local state for this thing, right? So what we want to do really here is to put Tldraw inside of our application. For that, you can actually take a look at the Tldraw package on npm, which is here is source code of the Tldraw library. And we can also open github.com/Tldraw/Tldraw, and we'll see the latest of the latest of this application. Once you install Tldraw on your application, you can simply add this code to have this infinite canvas on your app. Tldraw has recently released 2.0, and you know the 0.1 is a little fix that recently happened, but they've been for a long time trying to get 2.0 ready. So what we will do is do here yarn add a Tldraw in our application. So we're going to add that package and its dependencies. You see it prompted for 2.0.1. And once this resolves, we are going to see that our package.json is going to have here. So this just showed up. Tldraw 2.0.1 is now a dependency in our application, and we can use that. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to import the Tldraw from Tldraw. And in this app, not sure where this can fit automatically, if this is going to work directly, but all you have to do here is add a Tldraw component like this, and let's actually comment out or remove things that we don't need. And now we have Tldraw here. It doesn't look great because we haven't added the CSS, but it means that we installed it and that it's working properly. So let's see, if we go back to their page where they show the example, they showed us that we have to import the CSS code as well for styling to work there. So I'm going to do that. And now we have this infinite canvas there, a really small infinite canvas. Okay, so let's actually put here a style div to force the width to be 1000 and the height to be 500, for example. Yeah, there you go. And now that is our Tldraw application in here. Great. So this is basically an application we just created. So maybe I can do this really quickly here. Okay, let's actually go, let's see, what does this app CSS bring us by default? We don't want to max width. We don't want all this stuff. We don't want any of this. Padding, we don't want any padding. And maybe let's put here a position absolute. left 0, right 0, top 0, bottom 0. All right, so that gives us a full size application. I believe, if I'm not wrong, that we can also do this now. Maybe, well, forget about it for now. I don't really know if that's doable, but yeah, I mean, I have Tldraw here and we can use it directly. It's pretty cool. And we can actually make this a bit smaller and make it look more normal. So if you go to tldraw.com, you're gonna see a similar application. The only thing is that here I have, there's some CSS stuff that is not fully working, but you know, for the drawing board, I think everything renders the same. And once you have the Tldraw application, you can actually put here other events. So for example, on a mount, I could say Tldraw mounted. And once we go inside of here and refresh, Tldraw has mounted, right? I believe if I do npm run build that we have the dist folder, so HTTP server dist. Let's take a look. So yeah, so in production, this the lifecycle of the main function of your application is only going to run once. But on development, Tldraw actually React actually calls the method multiple times. That I'm not gonna go into why that is, but that happens. So don't pay too much attention to it. And yeah, so let's see if I go into the actual drawfast application, which we will have to break down in future streams. They actually have a fair amount of, well, some logic, 20 lines of code, where they define is shape of type. We need the editor to think that the live image shape is a frame. The live image shape is a frame. Okay, so okay, if there isn't a live image shape, create one, set style for next shape, default size, XL, ephemeral true. Okay, I don't really know what this ephemeral is, but let's go to see the live image provider. So this live image provider, okay, and you know, we had I'll have to add like a marker for like exploring this drawfast application code, because we kind of ended creating the default Tldraw application a bit ago. Okay, so great. So for real-time example, connection key. Okay, one thing enters in play here. They actually use this Fal AI serverless client. So let's take some notes here of things that are important. So this is on the this is the drawfast repo, and this is the live live image provider use. So this is actually inside of use live image. Okay, let's see how this works. So set fetch image. Fetch image current. Use live image. Okay, use editor, update drawing. So this is like safe for work HD award-winning impressive. Ha. So they're actually hard coding for us some modifications of our prompt so we can get something that works well. This is made by Alex. What if we don't add anything here? What if our prompt, oh, okay, so if we remove the prompt, so the frame name, I see. Okay, let's actually put this on our notes so we know that's important. Let's do that. All right. Hey, Major Mystery. What are you doing around here? That's nice. It's nice seeing you. I'm doing well. And yeah, taking a look at some live generation with stable diffusion models and Tldraw. What are you up to? Thanks for showing up. All right, random run shape ID seeded number generation. The result will always be between -1 and 1. Fetch image. Use live image, use context, live image context, create context. Right, current set fetch image. Okay, so here it seems like use live image. So this live image provider has a fetch image parameter, live image provider, and what they return is the current value of image context. Where is this? Create context. All right. Use live image. Okay, update drawing. All right. Asset record type. Nice. Okay, so they get the URL, the image. Here they got, so in update drawing, they actually get the URL. This URL is a string, so it's a base 64 string that gets set as the URL of the asset. All right, so if we actually were to go to that page here and say we copy as JSON, if we actually save this, oh, undefined. Let's edit, export as JSON. Undefined. Oh, there's some error there. So asset. Okay, so we can't really read that image. So I guess, can we get the editor store all records? So we can actually take a look here, this asset image. Yeah, and you can see the base 64 image is copy property path, copy string contents. Let's see if we can put this here. Yeah, and there we go. That's our image. So our image is it's actually a base 64 string that gets back from Fal AI. So I guess like the other interesting exercise would be like, how do we make a request with other information like we're seeing on Fal AI's page here. So we can actually go to the model registry, go to the model that we're using and use it through here. I mean, they show us through the API that you just need to send an image and a prompt with their serverless thing. So probably that is what's happening here. So prompt, live image request, image URL, and yeah, and this send a method probably has more parameters like sync mode, strength, blah blah blah. See what components they have. So they have the Fal logo, frame heading, live image shape util. So these are actually the the utilities for the shapes that are there. Oh, I see. Overlay result. Overlay result. Okay. I mean, it seems pretty cool. I mean, it seems like it would require more time to understand the whole thing. But I'm happy that we took a look at this and we learned a bit more today. So we've run it. We've run the draw fast application. We've gone for like an hour right now, so I think it's a good time to take some break and end up the stream. So I hope that you enjoyed it, that you liked this content. Again, I would ask you to give me a thumbs up if you like the content, if you want to see more continuation of this video or maybe similar tutorials. And I'll invite you to subscribe and click on the bell if you're gonna get notified when I go live next or when I upload new videos. I'm Nono Martínez Alonso. It was a pleasure having you here with us today live, and also for those of you who are connecting offline. Let me actually, so go here. I will invite you to join the Discord community at Nono Masters Discord. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm Nono Martínez Alonso. I run this stream on creative AI and coding, and also host the Getting Simple podcast. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next stream. Bye.